welcome back to the workshop. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on the bike, and I thought I'd give you a quick brief overview of what we're going to do before we get started. Now, I have taken the liberty of removing the belly pan, which usually sits just here, just so we can save a little bit of time on the video. We've covered that in the other videos before when we showed you about changing the exhaust. There's a couple of bits we've got to do on this. The oil filter is right here behind the exhaust. We can get to it. The exhaust isn't in the way to getting that off, but the exhaust is in the way of this silver piece here just behind. That's actually a mesh filter on the Ducati. So we need to be able to get to that every 2 oil changes. So we might have a look at that as well. Oil filter here, mesh filter here, and if I go underneath the bike, I'll be able to see a couple of other bolts that we've got to take off and get to. Here's one here to do with the mesh filter, and the one over here, that's the oil drain plug. So when we get to draining the oil, those are the 2 that we're going to be looking at on the underside. The first thing we need to do though, to get access to this, is we're going to remove this exhaust pipe, which means we've got to remove the 3 header studs just up here. We've got to loosen this bracket here, and we've also got to loosen this bolt here, so we've got enough movement in the system to pull this pipe forward and out. So I'll get set up to do that. Now, those 3 bolts are loose. I should just be able to rattle this one out. Pull it off the studs. There we go. And pull that one out. There we go. Use a block of wood. I can just put that in there to support the exhaust, because I don't want to put too much strain on this lambda cable here. So now we have that out of the way, we've got some clear ability to get the oil filter out and this oil gauze. So we'll get the tools ready to get this one out, and we'll get the drain bottle underneath that as well, ready to go. Okay, so before I put the drain tub underneath the bike, I'm going to go ahead and just loosen the drain bung and this gauze bolt, as well as the filter. Not all the way, so no oil is going to come out. I'm just going to make it easier for myself without the drain tray being in the way. So let's go underneath first. Here's the drain bung. There we go. He's loosened. There's no oil coming out, but he's loose. The oil drain screw was a 6mm Allen key. This one is a 14. So again, I'm just going to tap that open. There we go. He's loose as well. So that'll make it nice and easy to undo when the drain tray is in place. And the oil filter. I'm using an oil filter strap because the casing here is quite close to the filter, and that makes it difficult to get some steel tools in. So this strap is nice and thin and fits in that gap. So just gradually applying some pressure, can feel that the filter started to move. There we go, we're not spinning it all the way off. Shouldn't get any oil leakage out there. Now, one of the things I want to say before I drop the oil is a couple of schools of thought here. Is some people say to warm the engine up first, because then that helps all of the oil drain faster, because the oil is then thinner, being hotter. I haven't done that in this case because I've had to take the exhaust pipe off, and I don't really want to be playing around with a hot exhaust pipe. It is still going to be fairly hot even if I've left it 10 minutes or so to cool down. So this bike has been sat for a couple of days since it was last started. My thought here is that any sediment or any particles that are in the oil will have dropped as much as they can into the sump. So the first part of the oil that comes out is going to contain most of the contaminants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the oil bung out, and I'm going to then stop it after it's just pushed the first little bit of oil through. And then I'm going to have a look at that oil just to see if there was anything in there before I pour the rest of the oil out. So I'm going to do the first few, say 100 ml of oil, maybe not even that, 50 ml of oil, just to have a look and see if there's anything in there that I might lose if I put in, 4 litres of oil into this bung. So I'll do that, and then we'll just have a look at the oil and see what it looks like. Right, that's the oil out. I'll just stop this and we'll pull the pan out and have a look at the oil. Right, so looking at the oil, there's no metallic swirls, there's no chunks of metal, there's no apparent flakes or reflective elements in the oil, and it doesn't smell either. It doesn't smell horrible, like burnt oil. So I think we're pretty good. We'll drop the rest of the oil, and while we're watching that oil come out, we're going to be looking for those metallic swirls to occur again. Okay, I'm looking at the oil just here, and I'm looking to see if there's any swirling metallic or fragments or anything, from wear, just to see if there is any advanced wear in the engine, which there shouldn't be on this engine because it's relatively new. But on older engines, you start to see some kind of metallic, almost like metallic paint, and it'll swirl out from where the oil is going in. I don't see anything there, so I'm going to say that this engine is in good health as far as that's concerned. One of the cool things about this engine as well is it comes with a magnetic sump plug. So on the end here is going to be any metallic flakes that have been in the oil. Hopefully, if it runs past the sump plug, it'll stick to this, and we can give this a clean before we put it back in. And we can discard the sealing washer because we'll be putting a new one on as well. So yeah. I'll take the oil filter off as well, just so that can start to drain as well. Right, just get this filter off. Now that I've loosened it, it makes it nice and easy now to work on. I'm not going to hit the oil tray by putting too much effort into pulling this off. We'll come back in 10 minutes and see if that's finished draining. All right, well that's been about 10 or 20 minutes or so for that oil to continue draining out. There'll still be a couple of drips that will happen until we put all the plugs back in. As you'll notice, it's a little bit messy, so you might want to wear gloves And if you do choose to wear gloves, I'd recommend using the blue type, the chemical resistant ones, because the white gloves, the white latex gloves you can get, they just kind of dissolve in anything petroleum based. They just seem to fall apart and just swell up. So yeah, use the blue ones if you're going to. I'm actually using barrier cream, which is this stuff. You put this on your hands, and that helps protect your hands from any oil or kind of chemicals as well, if it's light use like this. So we're gonna take this filter gauze out now. This one here, this is the 14 mil hex socket. Pull that one out. There we go. That one there. And there's a washer as well, sealing washer, which we want. And inside that hole is where the gauze sits, and the gauze is held in with an 18 mil hex socket. So we need to loosen that one. This one is not very tight at all, it's about 10 Newton meters. Not tight at all. Still a little bit of oil in there, that will gradually come out. Here is the gauze. So we can see there's a little bit of metal on here, little fragments. I don't know if these are steel or aluminium. We'll have a look at that in just a second. I'll get them up on the bench and give that a clean out. There's also a little point here where this plug is underneath. Given that that's right there, I'll see if we can clean it from this side rather than taking this plug out. I think that's going to be more work than we need to do. If I can clean it from within the hole, that will save me pulling that bolt out and then re-loctiting it and torquing it back in. No point in doing more work than is needed. So we'll take this gauze over to the bench and give it a clean. Right, so I've cleaned the gauze. That's all now clean. I've cleaned that with a bit of contact cleaner and the compressor, and give that a good blow out. This part in here, there's the bolt underneath, which you can pull out to clean, but I can feel the top of that bolt in there now, and I can feel that there are no sharp or there's no debris there at all. It's all pretty clean. Just give that a quick wipe out with the rag. There's no metal flakes on that either. Give it a quick spray with the contact cleaner. Tiny little bit there. And once again, pretty clean. So we are now at the point where we can start to put this back together.